like to go ahead and start the Delaware County Redevelopment Commission meeting. It is July 12th, 2018. Time is 9:02. If everybody could stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Brad, can you call roll for?
Sure, absolutely. James King.
Here.
Kerry Wiggerly.
Here.
Ed Carroll.
Here.
Bryce Conyers.
Here.
Angie Moyer and Paul Garrison are absent.
We'll start off with open the public hearing regarding the Morrison Road TIF expansion. Have anybody here to gather?
As you know, I'm representing the fiscal part of the government. I've had debates over the years about TIF, and I'm just curious. Most of the infrastructure at the corner of 400 West and 332 is mostly in either part of Muncie or part of Yorktown. I see there's another project there that's going to put in a big drain, and I'm a little familiar with that drain because I know one of the individuals that was involved in a right-of-way for that drain. What's the reason for doing this? I mean, we know this doesn't necessarily give the governments more tax dollars to tuck these TIF monies away for development, but it does affect the school tax rates, and it actually affects individual tax rates if expansion or growth creates more tax base, then that actually lowers the taxes for individuals. So I'm just curious as to why you're expanding this out that far.
You want me to address Joe, or do you want Joe to address?
I know you guys are probably the better. Probably you.
Yeah, I'm happy to address those. So Ron, the Morrison and the Nebo Road TIF districts were only about a half mile apart, and the connectivity of the two allows for use of funds to be in that entire area and to assist with projects like you mentioned with the drain or other projects in that entire area. And as far as the expansion going further to the west, it gets up near the 500 West area, of which this board was approached by the town of Yorktown about some assistance in that area with a project. And so we thought it best to get the TIF district nearer to the Yorktown TIF district and the Yorktown project. So that's the main reasoning for it.
I know the project I heard about was moving that one firm there on 500 West. I've heard both sides that it may or may not even happen. I just can't understand why we keep wanting to put those taxes under the control of an unelected board. Not to be offensive, I think you guys are doing a great job of what you're doing, but we all know that our income tax for every person in this county has gone up. The number of dollars that come out of paychecks now into public safety and the governments and economic development at the executive levels has almost doubled. And it just bothers me. I know you're going to vote yay, so I'm not going to sit here and debate the issue, but I did want to take the opportunity to express my concern about it.
Anybody else? Motion and second to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Have a motion and second. Fred to get back in here. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We'll move to approve the minutes for June 14th.
So moved.
Second. Have a motion and a second for approval. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, we'll move to approve the resolution 2018-006 for the Morrison Road TIF expansion.
And this is just the confirmatory resolution. The declaratory resolution was approved at the previous meeting. This just reaffirms that.
Mr. President, I'll move for a motion to accept.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Brad, can you call the roll?
Yes, James King,
Yes.
Carrie Weirley,
Yes.
Ed Carroll,
Yes.
Bryce Conyers.
Yes.
Next, approval for amended declaratory resolution 2018-002 for the Nebo TIF expansion.
This particular resolution was amended as a result of the Plan Commission requesting that certain farm ground be removed from the TIF map expansion area. Joe, does that summarize that?
Yeah, so part of the requirement is that it conform with the long-term planning and zoning comprehensive plan, I guess, of the county. And because it included so much land that was zoned agricultural, it didn't obviously conform. So we removed a big chunk of it, left a little tiny bit in, and then ran it along 332 Gallagher to get to a little area it's a small pocket that's zoned, I think something commercial, like light business, some not agricultural. So now we're more in conformity with the long-term plan. There's still a little bit of agricultural in there, but that's justifiable, unlike the prior resolution. So now, hopefully it'll be okay.
Need a motion and a second?
Mr. President, I move that we approve the amended resolution.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Brad, can you call the roll on that also?
Yes, James King,
Yes.
Carrie Weirley,
Yes.
Ed Carroll,
Yes.
Bryce Conyers.
Yes.
Next, we have to approve Ag Park TIF closure resolution 2018-007.
This was discussed at the last meeting. The intent to close this resolution, as Joe's explained it to me, allows for the tax increment that was previously captured to be released and to pass through to the overlapping taxing units.
So yeah, so the TIF and the economic development area are not being closed out. They're still going to exist. It's just all of the money that would normally be generated as TIF revenue is just being reallocated to the underlying taxing units. So,
And
but-
Joe, just for clarity, does that start in 2019?
No,
Okay.
it's too late. I was getting ready to ask the question.
Okay.
Well, so
This has to be 19, page 20.
Exactly, yeah. So you'll need to, every year, you need to do, by June 15th, basically a certification saying, you know, I think it's the 200% rule.
Right.
If there's more than 200% money, whatever, you know, so by June 15th of every year, you're going to need to submit a report that basically says all of this TIF revenue exceeds what's necessary to keep, you know, to pay debt or expenses, whatever. And then it'll go flow through to the underlying units.
Got it.
So,
And those
yeah.
notices have been sent for this year.
Correct. I
So
hope
you're not doing away with the TIF districts,
Correct.
you're just doing away with the tax dollars, basically.
Basically,
Doing away
yeah.
with the tax dollars.
So it'll still show up on the report, Donna. It'll just have a zero balance at some point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Need a motion and a second.
I make a motion we approve resolution 2018-007.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second. Brad, can you call the roll on that also?
Yes, James King,
Yes.
Carrie Weirley,
Yes.
Ed Carroll,
Yes.
Bryce Conyers.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next, we have approve amended resolution for 2018-005, the Willing Avenue improvements.
This specific resolution Joe, you might have to help me with this, but adds to a little, the previous resolution only took care of the engineering, didn't actually take care of the actual
Correct, yeah.
improvements.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were pledging money for construction, but didn't actually pledge money for construction. So this adds the construction cost in, so that it's actually correct.
Which is provided by Angie Moyer.
Yeah, that's the only thing that changed was the dollar figure.
I'll make a motion to approve amended resolution 2018-005.
I'll second. Have a motion and a second. Brad, can you also call the roll?
Yes. James King?
Yes.
Terry Weirley?
Yes.
Russ Connors?
Yes.
Ed Carroll?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Next, we'll move to invoices. I'd entertain a motion just to pay all invoices as submitted.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Next, we have our bonds. Entertain a motion to just go ahead and pay all bonds that's listed as presented.
So moved.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Next, have public comments.
The wheeling thing's not on my agenda. I'm not sure I'm familiar with what that is.
Wheeling at Moore Road, we've had a lot of traffic accidents that
Is that where you're putting
was
the
there.
stop
We're
light?
gonna, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It's not on?
Yeah,
this?
because it's on,
It was, not on mine.
Number 7.
yeah, number 7.
It was sent and then added, you've printed an
Oh.
original agenda that I sent, and Joe forwarded me the resolution for it after.
Well,
that.
fair enough.
So, yeah, yeah.
It wasn't there, and I thought, well, I
And,
just
and,
asked.
and, you know, I emailed, what I do, Ron, is I emailed then the resolution that Joe forwarded to me to the entire board, and I don't forward it to all the subsidiary people who request, so that's why you didn't get it. Yeah,
Getting some money from the state to
yeah.
do some paving. I know you talked about the stoplight at your commissioner meeting, so.
Yeah,
I
we've
heard.
looked at that, and also Carrington Woods
Okay.
up there, so. Have anything else?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to this, ag park. So, you're saying for 2019, those tax dollars are not gonna be collected by TIF? 'Cause I'm not real sure Cheryl's aware of that. In that paper, in that filing, I forget what that thing's called that he was talking
I don't
about.
forget what it's called too.
I know, cause, the Humboldt guys always do them, but, cause I was discussing this with Cheryl yesterday, because, whenever something like this
Yeah.
comes up, I always, and she wanted me to make sure it said 19, pay 20. But if those tax dollars are supposed to go to back to the units and pay 19.
I don't think it's gonna be pay 19. I think it's gonna be 19 pay 20, because June 15th, and even then, after the redevelopment commission does their certification, there's still a process
Right.
beyond that the local government or local taxing units have to go through, and so theoretically they could
I guess
modify
I
it,
just need to
have
have
no
her
money
check
go to
that
them.
letter that she got, that, always get from my boss says, you're gonna collect 100% or whatever
Yeah.
that letter's called.
Yeah,
I'll have her go back and check that, just to make sure that,
this came up after that letter was sent out.
okay, so.
So that
it
letter
would be-
says we're capturing 100%.
So this will-
board approved those letters and
Yeah.
then they're signed by the
Right.
president of the commission to go out, so,
So this would go in effect and pay 20?
yeah,
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that.
yeah. And then this board can use their discretion to distribute those existing funds that are
Yeah.
captured in a way that they seem appropriate, so, yeah.
Okay.
Last year they used the funds to just do road paving in the area, so, yeah. But essentially, the gist of it is that the money goes back to the taxing units. Yeah, that's what they've done there today.
Yeah.
Yep.
Any other questions? Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.